Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this wonderful moment, a great time of the insight. Today, we are looking at a very important issue once again, something I believe most of you will learn from it and it will be helpful. We are talking about the consequences of failed promises. The consequences of failed promises. You know, as those that people believe came before us would say that a promise is a debt. And you realize that promises, when someone makes a promise, he lifts the spirit of the person that receives the promise. He makes the person anticipate for something good. He makes the person feel that there is hope at the end of this tunnel. And you find that God has well made promises to the children of Israel. And as God himself, he has allowed himself to ensure that his promises and his word is yes and amen. He doesn't change from it. He doesn't go away from it. He makes sure that he will follow it and fulfill it. But as human beings, there are things that happen to us that causes a failure in our promises. And I want us to look at 7 things that, the 7 consequences that befall a man or the people that their promises have failed. So one thing that we are looking at today is that when a promise is failed, when someone is given a promise and it fails, it causes pain. You know, a failed promise will cause pain. You realize that this person will go through as a moment of pain because he anticipated to receive something and he didn't receive it. You find that this person will have mental disturbance, physical disturbance. Some will will develop ulcers because of a failed promise. And these people, you will find that they are hurt from within, they are hurt from without. They can't collect themselves together. They can't put themselves together because someone made a promise that he was not able to fulfill. Someone did something to them. Someone said something that is supposed to give to them, but unfortunately they were not able to give or to come to terms or fulfill that promise. So we are saying that failed promises cause pain. They cause pain to the person that fails to receive the promise. They cause pain to them. They disconnect them from good life. They make them suffer. So when you make a promise, ladies and gentlemen, make sure that you fulfill that promise, because when you fail to fulfill that promise, what you are doing is that you are causing pain to the person that is supposed to have received that promise. The other thing is that the promises that when you fail to honor a promise, you do what? You brood mistrust. You brood mistrust. Failed promises brood mistrust. They cause mistrust to the person whom you have given that to, because people will begin not to trust you. People will not trust your words. They will not trust your things. They will not trust every word you say. What happens is that people treat your word as just a verbal diarrhea. People treat your words, they treat what you say as nothing, as useless. They don't take it seriously, because whatever you say, whenever you say it, however you say it, you never come to terms to it. You never fulfill it. You never do according to what is expected of it, because you just say, you entertain people with your words and you don't do what is expected of those words. When you do such, people will not trust you. They will not trust your word. They will not trust you to say. They will not trust anything about you. So you have to be very careful when you give promises, because when people can't trust you, then who are you going to live with? How are you going to operate? Because people must trust you so that you can operate or can live with people in harmony. So when you don't fulfill promises, people will not trust you. People will not believe what you say. Ladies and gentlemen, be very careful as you disobey or as you don't fulfill promises, because when you don't fulfill promises, people will never trust anything you say. They will never trust anything you do. They will never trust anything you try to convince them, because you are a man or a woman that doesn't fulfill promises. The other thing is that you leave a bleeding heart. You leave a bleeding heart when you don't fulfill a promise. Now, if you are a young man or a young woman who had promised someone to get married to someone or marry someone, and then you realize that I don't want this person, you don't give them the reasons why you don't want them. What you do, you just disappear. You just go, you get into the thin air and you are seen nowhere. You change your mobile phone, you change your location, you change everything. And the promise still stands. I will marry you. You will be my wife forever. I will marry you. You'll be my husband forever. You just disappear. What you do, you cause the heart of that person to start bleeding. They start crying day and night because of you. They start going through pain because of you. Then, when you are doing this, you have already hurt someone. You are not far from the person that is a murderer, because you have killed. When a heart of a man, a heart of a woman begins to bleed because of your promises, you have killed. So you should ask yourself, how many people you have killed if you have ever promised someone to marry and you never married them. If you have ever promised someone to get married to and you have never married them, never got married to them, and you never gave them reasons why you are not getting married to them. It is important that when you are not fulfilling your promises of life, especially marital promises, relationship promises, you get to this person, talk to them, make them understand, give them reasons why this promise cannot be realized. But when you disappear, when you get into thin air, you are causing pain, not only pain, but you are causing a bleeding heart to that particular person. And when you do this, ladies and gentlemen, you are a murderer. The other thing is that you get into a struggling life when you are a man or woman who does not fulfill promises. Ladies and gentlemen, what is happening to you is that you'll get into a struggling life. Breakthroughs will stop. Breakthroughs will stop. Financial breakthroughs will stop. Emotional breakthroughs will stop. You've breakthroughs will stop. You find you cannot be able to do a number of things because of a failed promise. When the people are crying against you, when people are complaining against you, when one man or one woman is crying day and night, when one man or one woman is crying and complaining because of a failed promises, ladies and gentlemen, you will begin to struggle in life. You will never find, you will realize that you don't find jobs, you don't find, you do something, it fails, it comes short. You want to do this, it doesn't go through. You try to pray, you can't make through in prayer. You try something, it's not coming out because of a failed promise. You begin to struggle in life because you made a promise that you are not able to fulfill. Today I want you to know that, ladies and gentlemen, when don't fulfill a promise, your life becomes meaningless. You can't really find a meaning in your life. You try to make things, they don't work. You try out, you don't come in. You try to go in, you don't come out. You try to erect something, it doesn't work out. You try to make things work for you, they don't work out because of failing to fulfill promises. I want you to look into your life and ask yourself, where have I gone wrong? What have I done that has not made me become what I am today? Whom did I promise? Whom did I promise something and never fulfill? Where did I make promises and I never fulfill them? Go back to those places. Try to fulfill those promises, because those are the things that are making your life struggle. Those are the things that are pulling your life behind. Those are things that are making your life meaningless. Those are things that are making you not to be able to realize the things you are supposed to realize as a person. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to tell you that never make a promise that you know you don't fulfill. Never make a promise that you know you never meet to meet it, because when you are doing it is not only a date, but it is going to affect your life. You are actually sowing a seed in your life that is going to follow you. You are actually getting into an altar that will be speaking against you. You are actually offering a sacrifice that will be speaking against you. Therefore, you should fulfill that promise so that these things, good tidings, will begin to follow you. Good things will begin to follow you. Ladies and gentlemen, a promise is not something to joke around with. It is something that is binding. It is something that you need to follow and fulfill it no matter what. And if you cannot fulfill it, get to a point to read to the person you made the promise to. Tell them, give them reasons why you cannot fulfill that promise. Another thing is that a promise is like a covenant, and that because it is a covenant, you need to fulfill a covenant. You need to realize that that covenant must be fulfilled, because a covenant, unless it is fulfilled, it will continue hanging until the day it is fulfilled. Now, when you don't fulfill a covenant, you are breaking the covenant, and when you break the covenant, you are causing to your life, because a covenant cannot be broken just easily. It is something that needs to go through a process, and therefore if you can't go through the process, you just wake up in the morning and decide not to fulfill a promise. Ladies and gentlemen, you are breaking a covenant. I want to talk to someone today. I want to tell you, if you are that kind of a person that promises and has not begin to check through your life, you realize that you are also going through pain yourself. You are struggling. Things are not working out for you. You can't make a meaning of your life. You can't know who you are today. You are trying, and you find that there are people who made promises to people, like let's say marital promises. They make a promise to a girl or a boy that they will get married to them. They made things to them that they have not fulfilled, and you are there, you are trying to make things right, and they are not coming right. You told someone, when I grow up, or you told your father, daddy, mom, I promise when I go to the city and make money, I will do this for you. And you have been in the city for 20 years. You have never done that thing to your parent, to your father. That promise is still working against you. That thing you promise is still moving against your life. You should realize that it is important. Any promise you made, whether you are joking or not joking, you made a promise. You should go back and fulfill that promise so that you bring meaning to your life. Ladies and gentlemen, today I am telling you this. Don't make a promise and you know you're not going to fulfill it.
Yesue, 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 Yesue. Uliteswa bure bila makosa, ulipigwa bure bila makosa, kadungwa mkuki bila makosa. Sababu yetu sisi tukombolewe, sababu yetu sisi tuokolewe.